hello to anybody and everybody who might be watching. My name is Celian.
And I am Cartesian.
We are bringing you the kickoff of the Southeast region for the Semi-Pro Gaming League. This is a new league that is developed. Some people may be following it. Some people may be eagerly watching to see what comes of it. I think that this is going to be nothing short of pretty freaking awesome. Now, just while we start off here, the idea of the SPGL is to get players who are not pros, people who are not getting fully paid, not on A teams for pro teams. Give those players a chance to really shine outside of the pro scene. Now, it's not just, B team players for pro teams. It's stuff like, players that aren't on any teams, but they're Grandmaster ranked or they're High Masters ranked. They say, you know what, I could really do something with this. I feel like I just need my chance to get up and maybe win a little bit of something here and there, get my name out, see everything that's going on. Yeah, this is the Southeast region. So this is going to be one of 4 regions that's going on. And we are starting off with the ever so exciting, and I don't think there's any better word to describe it than volatile, ZVZ.
Right you are. ZVZ can be one of the, really quick match. It can be a long macro game. Really just depends on where these players want to take it.
Yep, and they say the early game, it doesn't matter what units you make because everybody makes the same set of units. There's not a whole lot of openers for ZVZ, but your control is absolutely, bar none, everything. And man, in the Zergling Baneling mini game that goes on back and forth, as the overlords just pass each other, giving a casual wave like neighbors in a backyard during the middle of grilling season. ZVZ could just, the Baneling Zergling minigame can be ridiculous. And we see both of these players opening up the exact same, looks like about a 14-4, no, I'm sorry, no, not the exact same. In fact, why don't we go ahead and talk about our players, who they are. In the top left here with the red, bypassing his gas to go for a more economic mineral-focused opening. Looks like he's getting ready to go out and to expand right now. He is Complexity's very own goswser. Looks like goswser, but that's actually a double U. Get it there? Literal term. I just caught that today. I'm smart. His opponent in the bottom right, who actually Cartesian and I have cast before for the CSL, he is TropicalBob, and he is all sorts of fun at times, just finishing up his spawning pool. And he's been mining exactly 100 gas on the dot. You look at that extractor, it is missing no more, no less. And Gowser, I'm going to have to not get used to that. goswser is getting his own gas right now. So we'll have to see as he pulls into there. How late is this speed, or how is the lateness of this speed going to affect his economic opening against his opponent?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see that goswser's expansion is going to be up much earlier than TropicalBob's, but TropicalBob's going to have that speed much, much quicker. So we'll see if TropicalBob can use that to punish that fast expansion.
We know that speedlings in the early game can be vicious beyond reason. But now the defensive Baneling nest going up, and I have a feeling that if just a little bit of these, a few defensive Banelings, especially with some really good hits, can land, then it's really going to make, it's going to nullify the effect of the early speed attack.
Oh, definitely, especially with that narrow ramp into the main. You park a couple Banelings up there, and Zerglings, you can't see them until you get right on top of them, so that can really decimate an early Zergling pack.
And on top of it all, there's a spine crawler that has reach to most of the mineral line as well as the ramp. Love the positioning on that. goswser just playing it safe, and I love this. He's just starting his speed now, a little touch late there, but he can morph one Baneling. And yes, the first set of speedlings do come in here, showing that great control. Our red Zerg does have more Zerglings, I believe, out in the field. Yes, just by one now. Yeah, now the 2 queens. He's going to be very safe.
That speed can be a pretty powerful upgrade early on if you can sneak into the main before the queens get back to the ramp, but no, he's just going to pull back.
Yep, there would have to be many, many more Zergs now, or Zerglings, and TropicalBob not making any more Zerglings, in fact making nothing but a whole wave of drones. And goswser pulling that Overlord back very intelligently. He actually may have been able to have been sniped just barely by the Queen, and he's also going to spot, I think, yes, he is going to spot that Hatcher going down, so he knows that the third's going down. He knows, okay, pressure's coming onto me, but I can defend that. I just need to make sure that I don't lose the economic advantage.
Yeah, definitely. The 2 Banelings, like I was talking about, parked right on the ramp. There's a big hit.
Oh, man, I just missed it. Do love the creep spread coming out here from Ghost User. I don't think there's not a single tumor down yet for Bob, and he's really got to get that going. Creep it's no longer an advantage that's done for various games and Zergs. It is a necessity, bar none.
A creep is kind of a hidden resource for Zerg. You know, it offers that speed, it offers the vision.
Oh, and a few Zerglings in here. They are going to try to snipe these Banelings. They're going to get one, but not the other, and one big hit could... Oh, 2, 4, 6, 7 Zerglings by one Baneling. I think that's a pretty advantageous trade.
Yeah, that was definitely a worth it exchange for Ghost User there. But TropicalBob still has that 10 supply lead. His third is going to be
Wow,
well.
did get the cancel off, and he also lost the creep tumor. He didn't cancel that either, so trying to find his escape button there. Maybe he took it off because he didn't want it, but turns out it's pretty darn useful.
Yeah, now we have 3 extractors going down for TropicalBob. So
This is great. He's actually putting on a lot of pressure, and these Banelings, could land a huge hit. Bob needs to have a little bit better control, make sure he doesn't lose a ton of these lings. I like this, just whittling away these Banelings here and there. He has the Zergling advantage numbers, and these 2 Banelings are going to try to march down. Oh, but a single Zergling, no, now they pull back, but they're waddling so slow. Now there's so many Zerglings out for Gosu User. He's got 19 finally on the field, and a big hit goes down, getting a few of those. Finally feels like he can have these Zergling numbers take advantages. There's a trade going back and forth. Does not look like it'll come out in Bob's favor.
No, but Bob does have his third base up. And starting to saturate that now. A couple of spine crawlers going down to the third to help defend it, but oh man, a lot of Zerglings over there.
Yep, I'm not sure if it's going to be there in time. There are more Zergling reinforcements coming down for Ghosty User, but he's got 2 Banelings here. Oh, one huge hit, and that's going to nullify it. You can pull half the Zerglings, yep, and the other half are going to take care of the hatchery. May as well cancel those spine crawlers because they're going to be dead too.
Yeah, we do see the lair on the way now for TropicalBob. We'll see where he goes with that. He is now mining all 4 gas.
Oh, wow, didn't get the cancel off on either spine crawler. Maybe he was hoping they could get up and pop a few shots at the Zergling. Oh, good flanking, good pull out. Fantastic position for Bob, but I'm not sure. Looking at the Zergling count, it's 22-5 on the field. Bob is going to be able to put some pressure on and take out the third of Ghost User. And that's the thing about this map is without these rocks broken, it's kind of difficult to be able to control, and especially without creep spread, to be able to control the defense of your natural and your third at the same time.
Yeah, without those rocks down, it's such a long way. And now TropicalBob going for the third of Ghost User, and we'll just see. We got the third base going down again. Let's see if we can get that out.
Back and forth, just a slugfest for each. We do have Zerglings popping out. We do have 4 Banelings. We're going to have to watch these guys and see where they march down. They're going right into the pack of Zerglings. Need to pull. Oh, a great surround happening. You don't even need to use those Banelings. Save them for a better time and day, and he does. Nothing but Zergling on Zergling at this point, and now Bob is down to 14, having to produce 22 Zerglings, but he has a Spire on the way. I'm not sure where it is. There it is, just above the lair, and that's going to be critical. If he can get Mutalisk out to start sniping these Banelings and retain air control, and mostly Ghost User does not know that this is on the way. Now a whole new set of Zerglings pop out. Banelings are marching up. He needs to kill some of these before they get into the mineral line, and yes, the Queen is, oh wow, that's a lot of dead Zerglings.
That was a huge hit. Took out most of the Zerglings for TropicalBob, rather. And now the Zerglings just have free reign into the main of TropicalBob.
Now, there is only 1 Baneling. You need 2 to kill workers. But at this point, TropicalBob has a single Zergling somewhere on the map. 20 are popping out. Drones are turning around to fight. Never a good scenario. And he knows that he has a lot of Zerglings popping to help defend. And this will get cleaned up. But behind this, Ghost User is just making more and more Zerglings. What else does he need to make? He's even morphing a couple of he's morphing more than a couple of Banelings now. 20 Banelings on the way, but he needs to cancel these now. Bob coming out, finding them, and there's good control. He can turn around. He could probably take this just Zergling on Zergling, but he's choosing not to, and now we have 10 Mutalisks on the way. This is going to be a few big Baneling hits. Now we have a whole slew marching in, eating my words. This is why he didn't cancel, because he's going to wreck a drone line. Good splits coming out from Bob, and a Queen does pop out just in time. Most of these Banelings actually not being very efficient in their trades, and now the 11 Mutalisks are going to make the difference. However, I'm not sure how well this can go with only 18 drones on the field. We do have a whole other slew of Zerglings coming out. There may just not be enough to defend against this. Along with Spore Crawlers coming down, these Mutalisks may prove to be ineffective.
Yeah, and at the same time, Ghost User's got the Infestation Pit going for that Pathogen Glands upgrade, and also Roach Speed. We haven't seen the Roaches yet, but, well, we probably won't with the Mutalisks on the field, but Yeah, well, the infestors, once they do pop, if he can get that nice fungal on that clump of mutalisks, that'll just be it.
Oh, but these mutas are too busy defending. There's drone lines getting wrecked. More Zerglings coming in. Finally, there's enough 14 mutas on the field to make these Zerglings ineffective. But behind this, oh wow, I like the single Zergling back spotting that third. Just a little side note, good thing for Bob. But Ghost User, he's got 4 queens. He's got a spore in each of his mineral lines and 1 at the front of the natural. These mutalisks are going to be completely nullified. And after the mutas are done, then where can you go except into Roach Infester, and Ghost User is already ahead in that.
We do see 8 infestors on the way now, 2 more queens for Gosu User. Meanwhile, TropicalBob has no choice but to sit here and drone up. He really can't do anything else right now. He's just so far behind in workers.
42 to 28. I mean, you just look at the income tab and the harvest. Oh, now it's 27. Now it's 20. There you go. A few more popping down, but it went down to 29 for a total of 40 workers killed by Gosu User in 0 for TropicalBob. Now, he is going to be able to stop this third. He does have some mutas coming in, but look at these infestors.
Now, the nice thing for TropicalBob here is that the infestors are pretty slow off creep, so it's going to take them a long time to get to the base, and there's going to be, a bit of time before he's under any more pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So that does allow him the chance to drone back up, but we'll just look at the supply for Gosu User now. He's just going to start skyrocketing here.
Yes, and in fact, he has a single Overlord coming out. He has supply block. He needs to get a couple more, but I mean, he's got level 2 missile upgrades on the way, which is also going to affect his infested Terrans, in addition to the 8 roaches that he has on the field, with more and more on the way. He's starting to move his army across, and in fact, he's bringing 6 queens along with, still leaving 1 at each of his 2 hatcheries. He's going to have... Go ahead.
TropicalBob is anticipating that move out, and look at him splitting his mutalisks, but unfortunately they're already passed.
Yeah, it's too little too late. Plus, the basic passive anti-air of these queens is going to be very, very powerful against the mutas, at least whittling them down, if nothing else. Roach is already shooting at the Zerglings, making them completely ineffective. There's only 3 on the field now. And now there's the big fungals.
Yeah, fungal hits everything but 2 of those mutalisks.
And then the Zerglings are also being taken out as they move across the field. Ghost User has his own Zerglings coming out, and now we just see the final death of TropicalBob, at least in Game 1. There's the GG.
All right, Ghost User taking a very convincing Game 1.
All right. That was a very, very interesting, fun, and exciting game.
Yes, it was. We saw a pretty stable early game, just except for the Zergling buys into TropicalBob's base. But yeah, it wasn't that very back and forth. I'm sorry, very back and forth early game into the mid game. The thirds just coming up and going down and coming up and going down.
The 2 base play was stable. I mean, they had those 2 bases, and at the end, Ghost User did have his third. He did have his third up. However, it was 2 base play the whole time. 2 base mutas, 2 base Roach Infester. Ohana, unless you break those rocks super early on, it's so difficult to get that third up and going. So difficult to defend.
That's a very good point, especially with the Speedlings just kind of running around all over the place. It's tough to get around and get in to defend that third.
Never really saw a whole lot of Roach play up until that end when it did go into that Roach Infester. But it was mostly, I think, just Ghost User took advantage of the number of Zerglings he had. He pushed forward and out with them and really hit hard into that mineral line. And from then on, it was just easy peasy.
Yeah, TropicalBob really had no choice but to spend his larva on drones, and when your opponent is being aggressive like that, you really can't afford to be using the larva on only drones.
Yep, it's such an uphill climb getting back into that game. So, well, again, welcome all the viewers. This is the SPGL Southeast region. We are waiting on the next match. In case you're wondering, some of you may have noticed, some of you may have not, there is a way to view the stream in 720p. Normally it is not allowed, but you can, for a nominal fee of $5, you can view this stream as well as every other stream in 720p high definition play. If you want to see the awesome awesome StarCraft that goes on, and extreme clarity. It's just $5, and there are 4 regions, I do believe, possibly 6. There was some 8. Wow. Okay, shuffling around. It shows you how much I've been out of the loop. But I just leave it up to the admins for that. The 8 regions. You can view all 8 regions for all of $5, and in addition to that, you also get entered into raffles from our sponsors, one of which is Antec. We'll be talking about some of the stuff they're going to be giving away later on. Some really, really awesome. I mean, I'm not even kidding, guys. This is some making me jealous stuff, and I am a hardcore hardware nerd. So we're waiting for TropicalBob to choose his map going into game 2. This is a best of 3 double elimination. You can check it out on Wikipedia. Check it out on Zeek. Check it out on the SPGL site. Check it out wherever you want. Or you just sit here and wait.
Yeah, it looks like our next map is going to be Daybreak.
There we are. And Daybreak is, of course, in a mirror match, it's not like, oh, haha, I have the map advantage on this map. It's like, no, because you got the exact same thing. Looks like we are going to be starting up the game, but Daybreak is a, I'm trying to think of why TropicalBob would have picked this map over any other.
Well, the natural is very easy to take and defend. The third is quite a bit more exposed, but you know, it's a nice long rush distance. It takes a little while for Zerglings and especially like slow roaches and infestors and all that to get there.
Oh yes, it takes a week and a half for slow roaches to get across this map. There are a number of counterattack positions. You know, you can swing into the third from one way or the other. You can hit both the third and the natural at the same time, depending on what TropicalBob is going to want to do. We're going to see.
Yeah,
so Dan, why don't you lead us into our player intros?
All right, going into game 2 on Daybreak. In the purple in the bottom left, we have TropicalBob, who is a you know, mid to high ranked Masters player. Doesn't ladder a whole lot this season, just 15 and 10 so far. And his opponent right here in the red is Complexity's goswser, who is a ladder machine. He's the ranked 45 Grandmaster on the North American server with 541 wins.
Good Lord.
And 441 losses. So nearly 1,000 games played this season, and
it's
still
like,
maintaining over 100 more wins than losses.
That's like an Empire cost level of laddering.
Yeah, well, it can be decent practice.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's good. Although a lot of people will talk about how ladder practice, ladder play is not tournament play. They say, you know, there's a huge difference because, you know, you have to take into account ladder meta versus tournament meta and what kind of strategies could pop up on ladder that you'll never see in tournaments and the other way around and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, there's still practice to be had. You can practice very good fundamentals. You can practice, you know, really strong basics. It's a good way to sit down and say, okay, I need to work on more droning. I need to work on better scouting. I want to try out this random strategy against random people and see how they react.
Yeah, and you know, it gives the, you know, for players that are kind of a little bit nervous about playing one-on-one, it does offer that level of anonymity because you just, well, you know, you're playing just people that you'll never meet again kind of a thing. You know, that's always my big problem when I'm laddering is I'm always, you know, get that ladder anxiety and all that.
Well, of course, at the high level, I have seen actually, there are the occasional streaks of ladder multiple meetups where you'll be watching, like, I don't know, the Muslim stream, and he'll play against Area Kitty like 6 times in a row, and you're like, oh, come on, is there nobody else on the freaking ladder?
That's true. At the very high end of the ladder, your MMR is up to the point where you only play, you know, a certain few players if they keep queuing up at the same time.
Yeah, there's like 500 people on, or there's 500 people you're likely to match up against, and if there's only 100 of them on, and you know there's a narrow 20 in your region, then you just start seeing the similar names. But you're right. At the same time, then again, you meet up with some guy that you're just I don't know, and sometimes I don't care. There's the often feared bar LLL. That is, you know, an extremely well-known player across the Korean servers. I hear that they have something like 47 different accounts in Grandmaster. In case anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's the silly
Yeah, they like to
the
they like
little
to play
Smurf
under
account things.
yeah they play under a name that is completely indistinguishable, so that their practice can't be spied on, for GSL or things like that.
Yeah, it looks like just I call it the barcode username myself, but. So both players starting up speed. Second queen is not coming out. I'm sorry, has just come out for TropicalBob. I'm trying to see. goswser is not getting. I think he was getting a third queen, but he said it chose to go for a Baneling nest. I love the third queen myself, especially in ZVZ. I mean, I love it in any matchup, but in ZVZ I love it because it means that you can block your ramp, your natural, while also still injecting larva into your main, which can sometimes be a little bit of a problem, and you have that guaranteed creep spread, which I still think is, bar none, one of the most valuable things about Zerg ever, period, end of story. And it's map hacks. There's no other way to put it. It is map hacks.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with that. It just offers so much vision and early warning for whatever's coming their way, not so much in ZVZ because the units are so quick anyway, but
yeah,
especially in ZVP and ZVT.
When a single Zergling does slip by for Bob into goswser's base, so he is going to see the Baneling nest that's finished, and he's going to know, okay, Banelings can be out. This interesting pair of... and there's a single Zergling for goswser that slipped in. I didn't see if he got any kills. In fact, we can check. Nope, not a single kill. It got into the worker line, and it started nibbling away at drones, but it didn't get a single kill.
Yeah, goswser now taking his third.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see where TropicalBob decides to go from here. He is supply blocked, but he's making a ton of Zerglings now.
It looks like he's going to try to force this third to stop. He is getting his own. But he has an Overlord parked just outside the range, or a little bit beyond the range of that building hatchery, which of course when hatcheries are building, they have very, very small vision. And I like this. TropicalBob morphing a single Baneling behind his own third's mineral line. He's going to wait for his opponent to counter. Oh, but nope. goswser knows it's on the way. Two Banelings marching down. This could be monumentally big. Control is so close. Single Zergling pulled off to try to kill them. And thus begins the Baneling Zergling back and forth. That is ZVZ.
Yep, now the dance begins. We'll see the APMs of these players just start to spike. TropicalBob going down for his lair.
And trying to dance back and forth a little more, nothing coming of it yet. Maybe a big Baneling hit, maybe, possibly, not. No. goswser isn't too far behind for his own lair. Oh, there's a good hit. And some more huge hits could come in. Maybe, I don't know, some Zerglings slipping into the mineral line, one Baneling exploding onto the other Banelings, and that queen is going to die, but not before taking out some Zerglings and some Banelings with it. And yet TropicalBob should be able to hold this pretty well with the Banelings and the Zerglings that he has.
Yeah, a couple of Banelings now waddling around by the natural. Should be enough to hold this off. Double Evo Chamber Roach.
A few Zerglings do slip into the mineral line of TropicalBob, and now a lot of Zerglings slip into the mineral line. Oh, just watch the worker killed count shoot up. Well, it's up to 4 right now, and now the Zergling back and forth is going on. But this is just like game 1. goswser is forcing his opponent to make a ton of Zerglings. He's sniping out a couple of queens here and there. I mean, if you just look at the resources lost tab, TropicalBob is behind in that, but mostly it's that he also hasn't been able to tech up like goswser has into that Roach play. He hasn't been able to SimCity. I love the SimCity that's coming out, even though Zerglings could slip by it. But he hasn't been able to put on pressure onto that third like he's wanted to.
Well, we do see TropicalBob's Infestation Pit is just slightly faster this time.
Oh, a number of Zerglings going in, trying to get that third. They are going to get this queen, though not before she gets a larva inject. Some big Banelings coming in, might get something. Oh, the queen actually doesn't die, sitting at 9 health. And some roaches are out to help defend against Zerglings as well. I think TropicalBob just isn't going to be able to get in the pressure that he wants, although he is going to be able to do a run by here. No, he doesn't know he can't slip by that SimCity. I think he could get in and at the very least see the Infestation Pit. Oh, and a Changeling slipping in for goswser right over by the extractor for the natural TropicalBob is able to see all the units that are out and slipping by.
Now, an interesting diversion here. TropicalBob is going for armor as well as the missile attacks. so his roaches will be that much more resilient against the Zerglings and the banelings.
Mm-hmm.
But a ton of spine crawlers going down for Ghost User now.
7 at that. Well, let's see. There's 4 at the third, and then 1 spore and 3 more at the natural. That is. I like the positioning of it. I can't complain against it. This guy is looking to play a long-term game. He wants to get his third up and going. Oh, and some massive baneling hits followed by some spine crawlers. Yep, and complete shutdown of TropicalBob's any possible attack. He's only got 6 Zerglings out in the field now, and he does have 102 supply, matching his opponent, so it doesn't seem like he's more behind. But I don't know. It seems like drone count 64 to 60. He's a little ahead there.
But TropicalBob does have the upgrade advantage with that Carapace. And now Infestor's starting to come out for both players. Ghost User getting another round of drones in. And both players getting another round of drones. We have Burrow +2 attack on the way for TropicalBob now.
We still have a couple of banelings left out on the field for Ghost User, and I want to know where are those guys, because they might be trying to slip around somewhere. And maybe I'm just overthinking it. I do like that he's moving his spine crawler wall forward, getting that advantage against that ramp. And in fact, he could even move the spore crawler forward and probably get a kill on an overlord with the spore crawler. Not something you see every day. But now TropicalBob has finished that burrow, and he is moving his infestors across the map. 4 of them. Let's see if they're rallied anywhere. Nowhere yet. But it is interesting because he knows that his opponent has an overseer. And
yeah.
Trying to find where he is as well. Wow.
The overseer is parked in the main.
Controlling your macro. Look at the spine crawlers at the third for Ghost User.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you ever start losing a bunch of minerals, that's okay. Just make spine crawlers. 100 at a time, just drop them down. Oh, and the infestors now are moving. You can see an ever slight shimmer, but I don't know. TropicalBob, like, he wanted to try to get a 4th. He needs to burrow the Zergling that he does have parked to the 4th. But he's just trying to. I don't know what he's doing with these infestors. I wish he'd do something. I think it'd be really awesome.
Yeah, they're just kind of waddling around, or burrow moving around the map and building up their energy, so they may be looking more for defense. Maybe you could just go down there to try to deny a 4th, but like you said, there's a Zergling there that's already spawning it.
One big thing to note, Ghost User has, oh, look at the 3 canceled that were forced by TropicalBob at the creep edge over by the 3rd. He keeps trying to make it. This Zergling just keeps saying nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope. He's made 9 cancels thus far, but there are 11 queens. 11 queens for Ghost User. He loves his queens, man. Just tons out there.
Well, especially since they're not so recent range buff, they're quite effective at defense, especially against those banelings. You can use them to just kind of snipe out the banelings now pretty easily.
Yep, there is only 1 left for TropicalBob. But it does have that extra range. Oh, and a few infested Terrans are dropped. Snipe out an Overlord that is going to end up supply blocking Ghost User. I don't know why Ghost User just doesn't like march 3 roaches out, kill this Zergling, and then keep expanding. Although, good. How many? He has 18 spine crawlers at his 3rd. 18 spine crawlers and 5 queens. And a spore. And a partridge and a pear tree.
And he's still got, a ton going down at the natural ramp as well. His supply is now 35 behind. TropicalBob is getting ready to max out here, and Greater Spire on the way for Ghost User now.
And there is a Nidus network just passing halfway for TropicalBob. Look at the macro for both players, uncharacteristically slipping by this point. Neither player has a macro hatch. You think that might factor into it?
Well, Ghost User is going to be banking now for Broodlords, and I understand now why all the spine crawlers, because the Broodlords are just exceptionally slow. So you want to have all those spine crawlers at home to defend when the inevitable counterattack comes, because Broodlords are great when you can engage them.
Although there aren't any Corruptors out, we do have a large march across. There is a Nidus Worm that is going down. Where is it? Where's the Nidus Worm? It's in the back right. It is being spotted. A lot of infested Terrans going down. It is going to pop out. Maybe some roach. Nope, it's dead. Okay, well then, that's that.
Tropical
Fifth
Bob
trying
posturing.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Tropical Bob is posturing for an attack on the 4th Ghost User now in the center of the map.
Yes. He is going to snipe out not only the creep tumors, he could take those spine crawlers. I don't know why he doesn't.
Well, maybe he just wouldn't be able to do it too cost efficiently.
Oh, roaches are a dime a dozen, 75-25. Plus, he has the tunneling claws that I don't think he's revealed yet. I didn't see a spore there, so he could burrow everything around, drop infested Terrans to start eating the initial hits to draw the initial aggro of the spine crawlers, and then pop his roaches up to just go to town. He is 2-2. Missile attacks level 3 is getting ready to finish. It's coming near its end for Tropical Bob, passing halfway for Ghosty User. And now the Broodlords are starting to morph and just, oh man, down by Ghosty User's 4th. Let's look at his unit count.
Another Nidus Worm going down at the 3rd for Ghosty User.
Oh, it's right in the back. He doesn't spot it yet. He's actually pulling his forces away towards the 4th. The pop does come out, and immediately, oh, Tropical Bob knows that he is spitting roaches straight out. The roaches are spitting on top of the drones. No immediate reaction. Oh, there's a fair number of kills that are going to come out there. And those roaches, now they're getting fungled, but they could just drop right back into, yes, they are. They're all going to live, getting right back into the Nidus network. 11 workers killed. That's a decent little harass.
Yeah, that was definitely good. An uncharacteristic mistake for Ghost User to miss that. Another Nidus Worm in the main this time.
Yes, getting back, there are a fair number of drones there as well. There's a changeling giving sight. No Overseer in the area. Oh, and such a long reaction time for the units, for the army of Ghosty User getting into the back. He could, oh man, like a Baneling Nest or a tech building of some kind could have been sniped there. But no, they are going to get back, burrow, and hop back into the Nidus net, at least a few of them are. He's going for the infestation pit. A missed fungal is not going to get him. Transfuse tries to get it, but no, the infestation pit does go down. Tropical Bob is burrowing, moving forward with his main army, now attacking the 4th, keeping the pressure on his opponent just as a drone transfer comes down into the 4th, the main of the 4th. This is GSL Daybreak. It does only have the 6 mineral patches, but he gets the hatchery as well. It slips right out. His infestors are at full energy. Tropical Bob is actually looking very powerful going into this late game.
And this is fantastic play to use the Nidus Worms to move your army around and exploit the slow movement speed of those Broodlords.
Now there are some fungals going down on there's some fungals going down back and forth on one end on the Corruptors of Tropical Bob, but it was not enough to kill them. They actually had 200 life. But wow, a lot of transfuses going down now, and there were some fungals going from Ghosty User onto the Corruptors, and then there were some counter fungals going onto the Infestors from Tropical Bob, and now there are roaches burrowing back and forth. Just looking at the unit count, there are 8 Broodlords, there is a bunch of Corruptors dying. There are 8 Broodlords, 20 Infestors, 8 Corruptors, and 10 Roaches for Ghosty User. There are some big fungals landing as Tropical Bob's numbers are getting whittled down a little bit, but he has 26 Roaches, something that I feel could be a little more mobile and pretty good at counterattacking as they're moving down from the potential 5th. Going to move right by these spine crawlers. Honey Badger mode engaged, and they're going straight into the 3rd. But man, Ghosty User said, no, enough is enough. I'm just done. We're moving forward. We are marching this army, and we are going to kill. There's a Nidus Worm going up somewhere, and I have no idea where that is.
It's in the natural of Ghosty User.
Oh, and it is going, only a couple roaches do pop out of it. Yeah, Tropical Bob is worrying very heavily about this army that is knocking on his front door. A lot of fungals going down from a lot of infestors that are able to start knocking out these Corruptors, and many Queens also being able to transfuse. There were a fair number of roaches that are now moving up into the natural. They walked by the 3rd. They're going to go for that infestation pit again. Maybe not. No, they're going for the hatchery instead. But does Tropical Bob have an answer for Ghosty User's Broodlords marching forward? That's one of the big things, is that the Corruptor count, there are 14 that have to pop out. Tropical Bob is having to spend all of his larva and resources into countering just the Broodlords.
But look at the supplies now. Tropical Bob at 186, Ghosty User at 134. Although a ton of energy on those infestors for Ghosty User.
Wow, there are 4 drones on the field for Tropical Bob. I'm sorry, for Ghosty User. He only has 9 larvae, and he can't spin it on anything because he's sitting on 30 minerals. This is a base trade scenario for Ghosty User. He has to push forward with this. He has to kill the Corruptors and give his Broodlords air superiority advantage. Lots of transfuses going down, and 7 more Corruptors coming out. Even Zerglings being dumped in for the mineral dump as Tropical Bob just tries to do anything. He's got his roaches in the back, destroying all the buildings, and as far as the base race scenario goes, he may be able to win on building destruction alone. The Broodlords might be too slow But now, I mean, goswser is in the main. He is just wrecking face. All of the... No, that's GG from TropicalBob. That is going to be it. He doesn't think he could win.